Hey everybody, this is Brendan here with Common Motor. That's common-motor.com on the internet. And today we're going to show you how to swap out your chain on your bike without having to tear the whole thing apart. So stay tuned. Before we get too deep into this chain swap, let me explain a little bit of the context of why we're doing this video the way we are. Now, our 550 is a running bike and we've driven it several thousand miles. And we know that the sprockets, both front and rear, are in good shape. So we're not going to change those sprockets. If you're not sure about those, you're going to have to dive deeper into the bike, and we're going to have another video that kind of explains that whole process. But for now, all we want to do is change the chain, leave the sprockets in place, and we don't want to tear the whole thing apart. Now, the context for something like this might be you're on a road trip and you need to swap the chain out, or you're in a pinch and the chain is just kind of worn and it needs to be swapped. So again, it's only a chain swap. We're assuming the sprockets are in good shape. This is a frequent question we get a lot, is how long is my chain? So I'm going to show you real quick how to count the links on your chain in a fast and effective way. The fastest way to count this is to reference the outer links. So this is our reference, and we're not going to start with 1. We're going to call this 0, and you'll see why as we come all the way around with it. We're going to go 0, 2, 4, 6. We're going to be counting these outer plates here in increments of 2. We'll come all the way back around, and when we end here, that's going to be our link count. So 0, 2, 4, 6. 8, 90, 2, 4, 6, 8, 100. When you end at the last link you end on is your reference link, that's the length of your chain. Got the master link clip off on the bike. If your chain doesn't happen to have a master link clip, you're going to have to use a chain breaker tool to break the link. So keep that in mind. But most of these bikes, so they have aftermarket chains on them, are going to have a master link. If it doesn't have a master link on it, there's a good chance that the original factory chain. Remove the master link plate. Came off pretty easy. And we're going to keep our master link in place. I'm going to roll the tire, the wheel here, so the master link's kind of on the bottom. Just like that. And I'm going to leave that put right there. We've got our new chain. It's a 100 link chain. Should be ready to go. Brand new roller chain. So off camera, I loosened the wheel up so we could slide it forward, the axle a little bit like that. We got more slop on the chain. Now is the important part. I'm going to separate my chain here. I'm going to use the old chain and master link to thread the new chain through. Go like that. And I'm just going to put this side plate on just by hand. And now I'm going to throw my wheel, let the chain feed through. Take our old one off, take our old link off. Here's our old chain. Push that aside. We got a new master link for it. When I put master links on, I like to put them in from the back side, like that. Install our side plate, and lastly our clip. Do note on the clip, we want the open end of the clip to face the opposite direction of the wheel travel. So since our wheel turns this direction, our chain moves this way, kind of counterclockwise around the sprocket, the open end is going to face the bike, and this closed end is going to be pointing at the direction of the chain here. So make sure not to put it on backwards. There we are, clipped on, great. Chain's installed. Next thing we'll do is we'll tighten up the wheel, get the adjustment set, and then we'll put some lubrication on it. As we tighten up the chain, we want to pay attention to the detail here on the swing arm. Now, all the Hondas have this, you've got these little tick marks that are stamped in the back of the dropout, and there's also a little tick mark here on the top of the tensioner. And as we tighten the chain up, we want to make sure that where the tick mark is on the tensioner is equal on either side as the chain gets tight. So right now it's pretty loose. So we'll pull the wheel back. I'm just going to go until I kind of feel a little bit of resistance about there. Do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll actually check left to right where we are. So I'm grabbing it kind of in the middle here. I don't want to see about an inch up and down. It's really easy to over tighten a chain. I wouldn't want to go tighter than that on this chain. It's going to stretch a bit as a new chain, but that feels good. My marks, I'm pretty much on the money, just a hair off from that third mark on this one. Same thing over here. So I'm going to call that quits. And bring my lock nut down, hold the tensioner with the one wrench, and then just snug these up. The last thing I'm going to do is lubricate the chain with some chain lube. We happen to be using the Pro Honda brand chain lube, but any good chain lube will do. This particular chain, being new, has zero lubrication on it, so I'm going to douse it down pretty good. Generally, the rule of thumb in chain lube is to have the chain warm, so you ride the bike a little bit, and then douse it down to help the oil penetrate deep between the rollers and the plates. But this one has no lube on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it lubed right now. As far as lubrication intervals go, between 300 and 500 miles is what's recommended for your bike. It's a lot more frequent than people realize, so make sure you keep your chain lubricated often. So there you have it, a quick chain swap on a rolling bike. Doesn't require a lot of disassembly. If you had to, you could do it on the side of the road in a pinch, but it can be done as long as you don't pull the old chain off before you put the new chain on. Hope this was helpful for you. Again, this is Brendan here with Common Motor. That's common-motor.com on the internet. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and as well as on Instagram. Subscribe to our newsletter via our website, and of course, subscribe to us right here on this YouTube channel, and we will see you next time.